Alright, now what I'm about to show you is probably one of the craziest looking DVD movies. Now, these two movies are legendary out-of-print titles, but this movie has haunted me for owning it on physical media for a long time. Okay guys, come on in. This is an awesome video for me. I know it is for me. Hopefully you guys will be able to see some stuff you probably don't get to see every day. There's some personal testimony stuff with some of these movies, and some of them, you know, have just been out of print for a long time. We're going to get right into it, but let me give you just the preface of this. I live near a still open video rental store. That's right. I live by a National Video, and I've become very friendly with the owners, and they basically will let me buy DVDs that are on the rent it area. They do have a for sale area, and I bought something that I wanted to get. I've been looking at it for a long time. I finally just pulled the trigger. But they have a big section of movies that they rent, obviously, because it's a rental store, but they'll let me buy DVDs. And as a matter of fact, one of the DVDs, they actually told me when the last time it was rented. And it might actually surprise you, the date. So we're going to get right into it. But this is what's so cool. So I'm going to show this picture right now. Now, this is right when you walk into the store, you can turn around and look at, you know, kind of like the way a movie theater has Coming Soon Now Playing. Well, they have this in video stores, and I believe these are called Myars, and they're little sheets that go into this, and the light projects through it and makes it look really cool. Well, they said they would start giving me some of these Myars. So here's one that I got for Pet Sematary Bloodlines. Now, this was shown during the available soon. I remember seeing this when I asked for it. The Blu-ray had not come out yet, but that's really, really cool. So Pet Sematary Bloodlines, got the really cool Mylar for that, and it's a really nice material, whatever these are, but you can see through it a little bit, and the light projects it, so when it hits it, it looks really cool. So we got one Mylar for that. I'm going to find something cool to do with these. We got a Mylar for the ever-popular Five Nights at Freddy's, which was PG-13. And then we got a Mylar for one of the greatest movies in recent years. We got a Mylar for When Evil Lurks, coming soon on home video. So yeah, I was trying to see if they had Late Night with the Devil, but they didn't see it. Hopefully they can find it though, because I do remember seeing it when it was in the store, but it hasn't hit home video. But actually, maybe they didn't have it. Maybe they didn't have it. Maybe I'm mistaken. But hopefully they do have it. So I went scouring the store the other day, and I just tore it up. And I went to the movies with a fine-tooth comb. My wife was pissed because she was waiting on me to get home so we could eat dinner. And I was just taking the magnifying glass, going through every title. There's still some stuff I want to grab. As a matter of fact, they have The Hitcher 2 that I haven't picked up yet with C. Thomas Howell and Gary Busey's kid from 2007's and that. So I'm probably going to go back soon and try to buy that. But I hit the mother load. But here's one more bonus. I picked this movie up after seeing it on the shelf for a couple years from them. It's a movie called Hanukkah. Now, I don't know if this is a slasher film, but I'm going to tell you why I got this. I think this was the actual last movie that Sid Haig worked on fully. This is released in 2020. A terrifying new tale of horror. A group of Jewish young adults are getting ready for the holidays, but are in for a festival of frights. With the help of a wise rabbi, they deduce that they are being targeted because they have violated Judaic law, and that their only chance of survival is to embrace their faith. Here's one review from Forbes. An outrageously violent horror movie that pays homage to graphic 80s cinema with a Hebraic twist and seemingly endless supply of chutzpah. So, yeah, it's got Sid Haig in here, though. I think this was the last movie he worked on. I think. I really do. Hanukkah. So, looks like a slasher. Looks like a slasher film with Sid Haig in it. And it also has PJ Souls. I can see her on the back. So, yeah, I'm going to check this out, guys. Hanukkah. There you go. Okay, so let's get into it. Some of these titles are rare, and some of these titles are out of print. Now, some of them, you can still kind of go online and get them fairly cheap, but some of these, like, I was just like, oh man, I have bootlegs of those, but you know what? I gotta own the DVDs. I have bootleg Blu-rays of them, but I have to own the DVDs. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you guys, this was a Masters of Horror DVD I wanted so bad, and I kept looking at the used DVD stores. I would never see this one. Finally, I was like, maybe, you know, the video store will have it. Sure enough, they had it. The artwork on this one just kills me. I love it. We All Scream for Ice Cream with William Forsythe from Tom Holland. This is something I'm so excited to watch. So excited to watch this one. So here's the best part. And it's funny because you guys that are physical media collectors will know this was the best thing I ever heard. So when I was typically buying movies from these guys, they would take the sheet out, like they would take this out, the slip art, boom, and put it in like a recyclable style DVD case, blah, blah, blah. Well, this last time they were like, we're out of those, we don't have those anymore, and so we're just gonna keep them in this. And I was like, oh, the actual like rental style case, like these? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, I prefer those. They're bulletproof. They're like the sturdiest DVD cases in the world. Everybody knows that the DVD rental cases were the best. They're sturdy. They got no give to them. So I'm hoping if I continue to buy from them, they'll keep them that way. But this was an Anchor Bay release. People have told me that they loved this one, and I've seen it, but it literally was years ago. I think it might be, this might be volume 2 or season 2. I'm not sure. But I'm so excited. Tom Holland, man. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be so great. And I think Brad Dourif's in this too, as well. So, God, man. Can't wait to watch this one. We All Scream for Ice Cream. All right, next up, guys. This one is from Showtime. This came out in 2004. Showtime Entertainment. This is a slasher movie that looks so insanely ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I posted a haul video picture on Instagram, and somebody said, this movie is so bad, I love it. It's a slasher called Hatchet Man. Someone's Got an Axe to Grind. 2004. Let me read this to you guys. College co-ed by day and a stripper by night, Claudia's dreams of becoming a lawyer seems in reach until her co-workers start turning up dead. Victims of a brutal serial killer. Can Claudia and her friends stay alive long enough to expose the killer, or will they become the Hatchet Man's next victim? Look at the mask on the back of this. Look at that. Look how ridiculous that looks. Are you kidding me? I can't wait to watch this. Hatchet Man. Let's see if the disc looks cool. Yeah. Showtime Entertainment. I don't even know if they're a thing anymore. This case, look at this case. It's amazing. These cases are what make this even cooler. Okay, moving on. We've got some baller titles in this, and one of them I can't wait to watch. Next up, guys, we've got a new take on the slasher genre from Phil Weed of Nerdly. Last Girl Standing. What happens after the horror movie? What the F is that thing in the back? Okay, so this was put out by MPI. This came out in 2000 and it says 15. Wow, so this is not a super old DVD. 5 years after a mass killer brutally murdered her closest friend, Cameron, the lone survivor. They spelled Cameron so weird. Camryn. Wow, that's a weird way to spell Cameron. The lone survivor struggles to reclaim her shattered life. Though seemingly suffering from paranoid delusions, Cameron reluctantly starts hanging out with Nick, a new coworker, and his tight-knit social circle. But just when she thinks she might be ready to finally start anew, I can't read tonight, guys, I apologize. Cameron's past comes back to haunt her. Part slasher movie, part character study. Last Girl Standing is a thrilling exploration of what happens to the final girls of horror movies. Wow. This sounds wild. MPI home video, not a label I've seen much of before, so I was very happy to pick this up. Last Girl Standing. By 2015, most video stores were way gone, so you know my video store was still getting all these titles in when they were coming out and putting them on the shelves for people to get. So very cool. Next up, guys, we've got a title. And this home video label is Eagle One Media. Yeah, tell me what the hell that is. This is from 2014. This is a movie called Insane. Pay to check in, pray to check out. So let's read about this one. From the film team that brought us the horror cult classic Evil Ed. Have you guys seen Evil Ed? That movie is amazing. Get the Arrow Video Blu-ray right now. Pause the video and grab it. It's one of the craziest 90s horror movies I've ever seen. Sarah is on a desperate search for her sister who mysteriously disappeared 2 weeks ago while on her way to a music festival. After another fruitless day with little results, she decides to check in at the first hotel that she can find. In the middle of the night, she comes across the Bridge Burnside Hotel that fits the bill. The hotel seems somewhat deserted, off the main road along an abandoned quarry in the middle of nowhere. But David, the night clerk, is very hospitable and has accommodations that are clean and affordable. But for Sarah, the terror is about to begin. Just looks like a wild, bloody slasher film. What kills me is this image on the back of this girl in the bathtub, just looking horribly dead, covered in blood in the tub. It just looks really painful. Yeah. So yeah, this is 2014 Eagle One Media. Can't imagine that they're in business too much anymore. But there it is, guys. Insane on DVD. Next up, this one is a movie that I've never heard of, but it stars George Wendt and it has Tony Todd in it. So when I read that, I knew that this was going to be something I had to get instantly. George Wendt, Norm from Cheers, or he was in House, which is a classic. Brian Loves You. Shades of a Clockwork Orange from Joe Oster on JoeBlow.com. All right, now this one came out in, let's see, 2008. I think this is a found footage movie. Look at the back pictures. I think that's some footage. It's also Anchor Bay, but I didn't notice that till I flipped the back when I was in the store and saw this because of the horror sticker right there, which of course I'm keeping on these. But yeah, this is Anchor Bay. Let's read about this because this may be something of interest to you guys. All right, in the early 90s, a 32-year-old psychotherapist began to suspect that his small Arizona community was being taken over by a homicidal religious cult known as the Bryans. His entire ordeal was captured on camcorder footage and security tapes. These are the video musings of a highly disturbed young man. This is what was recovered. George Wendt, Tony Todd, Tiffany Shepis, and Daniel Roebuck co-star with cameos by Troma's Lloyd Kaufman and Scream Queen Brink Stevens in this disturbing thriller based on the 1993 true story that shocked America. This sounds awesome. It's found footage. It's got all these people in it, and it's about a cult. Are you kidding me? Brian Loves You. I can't wait to watch this. I cannot wait to watch this. This is Anchor Bay, by the way, guys. So, yeah, 2008, good year. Not the tire, but I mean, it was a good year. There you go. Very, very, very cool. All right, let's continue on. Okay, this title has haunted me, no pun intended, for a long time. I never have seen it in the wild. Now, it's no longer in print, but you can probably go on eBay and get this at a fair price. Here's the kicker. I saw this movie right when it came out. I remember enjoying it, but it's as simple, or it's as thin as I remember enjoying it. Because I remember talking to my wife at the time. We had just met when this came out. There's a movie called Haunt. Now, everybody immediately is thinking of the Eli Roth produced movie that came out in 2020, right as the pandemic was happening, and kind of snuck out, and people fell in love with it. Became a cult hit instantly. And I was thinking, when I heard about this, was they're already remaking Haunt? I quickly learned that it was just a coincidence. But this movie has haunted me for owning it on physical media for a long time. The 2012 movie, Haunt. The IFC movie. I have wanted to own this for so long. This might have had a Blu-ray, and if it did, it was extremely limited. But this movie has been out of print for years. So let me read this to you guys. I'm so glad to own this. Like, I just want to hug it and hold it and keep it safe. Look at that. Look at that artwork. Are you kidding me? This is Haunt. Okay. Years ago, Dr. Janet Moreau saw her entire family die in their house under tragic and gruesome circumstances. Wanting a change of scenery, she sold her home to the Asher family, including teenage son Evan. Evan is the only one suspicious about his family's supposed new dream house. And after striking up a friendship with the troubled neighbor Samantha, he discovers a way to communicate with the ghosts of the slaughtered Morello family. But soon, Evan and Samantha's morbid curiosity into the supernatural turns dangerous as the spirits start to manifest themselves in the physical world. Now, despite the warnings of Dr. Morello, the teens are determined to discover the terrible secrets that surround these ghastly apparitions and send them back to the realm of the dead before it's too late. MPI Media Group, IFC Midnight. Man, this movie, 2014 was when this Blu-ray DVD came out, but the movie came out in 2012. We streamed it on Netflix. And I remember enjoying it. And then it came out on DVD, and it was quickly as it came, it went. And I've wanted to own it, and I just never eBayed it. I've always wanted to just find it, and I found it, and I'm so happy to have this. This is Haunt, people. This is Haunt. Moving on. Okay, so I believe I have Chrome Skull laid to rest 2, but I did not own the first one, so I was very happy to pick this up. This is another Anchor Bay title, Chrome Laid to Rest, a film by Robert Hall. Bobby Sue Luther and Thomas Dekker star in this slasher shocker that takes the Killer in a Mask movie and rips it into a whole new future. A young woman wakes up inside a locked casket with no memory of who she is or how she got there. But once she escapes, the girl will quickly learn that she and everyone that comes in contact with it is being pursued by Chrome Skull, an unstoppable maniac armed with a metal skull mask, a shoulder-mounted video camera, and a ferocious appetite for slaughter. Sean Whalen, Lucas Till, and Richard Lynch co-star in this unflinching vision of graphic carnage from writer, director, effects master Robert Hall, featuring music by Suicidal Tendencies. That's amazing. This is an Anchor Bay DVD as well. Chrome Skull Anchor Bay DVD, unrated director's cut. So, yeah, I was very happy to get that one as well. Let's look inside. There's our Anchor Bay disc. Sensational. How do you beat it? How do you beat it, guys? Now, we're getting ready to get to some heavy hitters. This movie, I remember seeing this on Netflix all the time. Now, this was put out by I Am Global. This is a Sony Pictures disc, but I'm very excited about this one. The next DVD we have, guys, is a movie called Afflicted, captured on film. Truly impressive and seriously creepy. This terrifying horror thriller follows two best friends who set out on the trip of a lifetime around the world. Their journey, documented every step of the way, soon takes a dark and unexpected turn after an encounter with a beautiful woman in Paris leaves one of them mysteriously afflicted. Winner for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Director at Fantastic Fest, and recipient of awards at recognitions from the Toronto International Film Festival and the Sides International Fantastic Film Festival, Afflicted is one of the most suspenseful and original action horror debuts in a generation. Again, a movie I used to see on Netflix, but I don't think I remember seeing it, and I'm so excited to watch this. Afflicted, captured on film. It looks like another found footage movie. Good, Michael Gingold, Fresh and Frightening from Fangoria. I always like seeing Michael Gingold on these. So, beautiful rental case. Look at that. I Am Global, Automatic, Canada, E1, CBS Films, Sony. Alright, now what I'm about to show you is probably one of the craziest looking DVD movies of all time. And I don't even know if I should take this seriously, be super excited to watch this, or just be tripped out. I am praying somebody in the chat has seen this movie. It's a movie called Monster Man. On this highway, the roadkill is human. Now, I'm thinking to myself, is this a movie about a slasher monster truck driver? I'm like, it's gotta be. But look at the picture on the back of the killer. It's freaking amazing. Look at this guy on the back. Look at this guy. Okay, so let's read about Monster Man. Monster trucks have gigantic wheels, carriages of steel, tons of horsepower, and crush anything that stands in their way. On desolate I-55, there's one monster truck that gives new meaning to the name. It's not just the truck that's monstrous, it's also the driver. When two college buddies driving cross-country stumble across the monster truck's path, they have more than a bar full of amputee yokels to worry about. This was put up by Lionsgate Home Entertainment with the vintage Lionsgate logo. This is 2003. Monster Man. I don't know what the hell this is, but I am so beyond intrigued to watch this. Insane. Absolutely insane. Look at this DVD case. Look at that. That's that. This thing is bulletproof. If you put this under your shirt, you could take a round. Monster Man. Let's check the disc. They clean these for me. Spotless. Spotless. I cannot wait to watch Monster Man. Oh my god. Now, these two movies are legendary out-of-print titles. I am referring to the Pumpkinhead sequels. Now, Blood Wings is something that, in today's world, you can get that. That has an overseas Blu-ray right now that you can probably find on Orbit or Diabolic DVD. But, let's talk about Pumpkinhead, Ashes to Ashes on DVD. Look at that artwork, number one. Doug Bradley and Lance Henriksen. Dead, buried, and back with a vengeance. Now, these were sci-fi movies, so that might be a reason that some of these are hard to get. But the thing about the Pumpkinhead sequels is, you know, there was also the Return of the Living Dead sequels, the 4 and 5, which two of my favorite videos I've ever done were on Necropolis and Rape to the Grave, where I go through the story of what those movies were. Those are cheaper and easier to get, and you might even be able to get them still on Amazon, but the Pumpkinhead sequels are difficult. Ashes to Ashes. It's been 2 decades since the late Ed Harley last conjured up the demonic avenger known as Pumpkinhead. So when the citizens of a small village discover the town's physician, which is Doug Bradley, has been selling their loved ones' organs and dumping the bodies in a swamp, they ask the old witch Haggis to involve the demon's wrath and avenge their desecrated kin. Summoned by the mummified remains of Ed Harley himself, the creature proceeds to wreak havoc upon any and all who get in his way. After 20 years in limbo, Pumpkinhead has finally returned to settle the score. 2006, guys. Amazing. Amazing DVD. Look at that disc. Look at that beautiful disc. Sci-fi. Oh, God. Now, that's not all, because we in fact got our hands on Pumpkinhead 4 Blood Feud. Now that's artwork. That's a DVD. Again, we're talking sci-fi as well. Let's give you guys a synopsis. Although the blood feud between the Hetfields and the McCoys has been raging for decades, it is all about to come to a grisly end. When Jody Hatfield falls in love with Ricky McCoy, her two brothers' brutal attempt to break their engagement leads to the accidental death of Ricky's kid sister instead. Ignoring the ghostly warnings of Ed Harley himself, Ricky calls upon Pumpkinhead, the legendary demon of vengeance, to avenge his kin by wiping out the Hatfields for good. As the carnage commences and Pumpkinhead slaughters any and all who get in his way, one thing remains certain. It is a Hatfield is ever married to a McCoy, it'll be over the death of the bodies. So I'm sorry if I said Hatfields, it's Hatfields throughout that. But, so, this is also 2006. I can't remember if these premiered on Sci-Fi the way Necropolis and Rape to the Grave did. I have to imagine that they did. I've seen both of these, and I think that these are a little bit better, and I think the reception is a little bit better from the fans when it comes to these over the two Living Dead films. But to have this official home video releases, remarkable. Just really makes my heart feel good. I want you guys to be diligent. I want you guys to check your shops, because these are out there. They exist. They're out there. So you guys can get these. And how much did I pay for these, you're probably asking? Very fair prices. I think I paid $12 for each of these, which they knew that these were out of print. They didn't want to screw me over, but they also wanted to, you know, make a few bucks. So totally fine. Totally fine. So, just sensational, but we're not done. So now we're capping things off where I actually bought an entire franchise on DVD. Are you guys ready? This is from Lionsgate. 3 classic Lionsgate DVDs. Dark Harvest, Dark Harvest 2, The Maze, and Dark Harvest Scarecrow. We got the whole trilogy. I got the whole thing. You reap what you sow. When Sean Connell inherits an old family farm deep in the mountains of West Virginia, he gathers a group of friends to make the trip and collect their inheritance. But what they uncover as they make their way further and further into the backwoods is a family line marked by bloodshed, and that even after several lifetimes, evil endures. All it takes is one blood moon. Prepare to reap what you sow. 2003. This sounds like it's a play off of Jeepers Creepers a little bit. This is Dark Harvest 2, The Maze. God, this is such a cool looking DVD. God, this is amazing. The terror continues as Halloween approaches and evil finds a new home. It's a Halloween movie. Perfect. Shy Walker's a local man with the ability to see images of future events. When his two daughters go down to the local corn maze to celebrate the holiday, Shy sees visions that terrifies him, and he races down to get them. But by the time he arrives, the girls are already inside and are unable to find their way out. With his wife terrified and helpless to save the two, Shy must put his psychic abilities to the test to pull them from a trap haunted by the living dead. Oh my god, that sounds even better. Are you kidding me? What does Dark Harvest 3 have in store for us? Again, there's the back of Dark Harvest 3. I don't know if I showed that to you guys. And this is 2005, so this must be 2004. It says 2003 as well. They cranked out 1 and 2. They knew 1 was going to be successful, so they cranked out 2. A group of friends are terrorized by an old age curse placed on a scarecrow and the horrifying tale that proves revenge never dies. When the wicked James brothers murder is an innocent woman in order to take over the land, her last breath is used to put a curse on them and their bloodline. Through a scarecrow on her land, she ensured that evil would beg it for evil the rest of time. Beget. B-E-G-E-T, whatever that word is. Now, years later, a descendant of one of the brothers has taken his friends to the old cabin for the weekend, and soon they will find out that the curse and its terrors are still very much alive. Yeah, this is amazing. Blood Moon Films. Nice big cases. Now, these very well could be terrible, trashy films, but that's what I love. So, Dark Harvest 3. We finished off an entire DVD franchise of the Dark Harvest films. So, I gotta say, the Dark Harvest artwork on part 1 is great, but I love part 2. So guys, I racked up, and I continue to support that video store as often as I can. I really do. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you can write these down, and if you're interested in any of these, check them out. That's why I read the synopsis to you guys. Go on the lookout. These movies are out there. I'm begging you, never give up hope. Don't rush to eBay. It's out there. I promise. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.